If I'm a 5 as a leader, that means my organization will be what? Talk to me. A 4. Okay, here we go. Because the leadership lid won't allow it to go higher. So, how do I grow my organization? This is very simple, folks. I've got to raise my lid, don't I? I've got to get this lid up, and because I can become a better leader, I can raise my lid, true? So I can go from a 5 to a 6, to a 7, to an 8, to a 9. Now, this organization is a 4. When that leadership lid starts going up, that organization goes from a 4 to a 5, to a 6, to a 7, to an 8. You see, your organization will grow to the size of your leadership ability. Now, if I were where you are and I was listening to what I just said and I was taking notes, somewhere on my notes or somewhere on my iPad, I'd be putting a star right here. I'd be putting a rocket ship. I would be putting a sign that says, do not miss this. Because your ability to lead will determine how successful you'll be in this house, without any question. The best leaders will build the biggest business, no question. That should light a fire within you. That should spark, something should be going off on the inside right now. You see, everything rises and falls on leadership, and I've got to raise my leadership lid, and Maxwell says I can learn how to lead, and the better I learn how to lead, the bigger I can build this business. There ought to be something inside of you that says something like this: I had better learn to lead. Hello, this is an IQ test. If you miss this one, you can go home now. Vicelis can't help you. God can't help you. You understand? The whole concept, the whole idea that you can learn to lead, and if you learn to lead, and the better you learn to lead, the more successful you can become, and the greater your business. This is an absolute fact. It's not a theory, it's not a thought, it's not an idea, it's not a principle, it's a fact. And the law of the lid says, the better you learn to lead, the higher you lift that lid, the greater your business can become. Now, that's the law of the lid. So the question that I have today, and as I was talking on the phone to your leaders the other day, the question I have is then, well, how do I lift that lid? How do I lift that lid? If that's the key, then John, come on, let's get that lid lifted. And by the way, you're in luck because I know how to do that. Yeah, I really do. I ain't bragging, just living it, okay? I know how to do that. In fact, look at your neighbor and say, John can help us. Go ahead and tell you. John can help us. And look at your neighbor and say, and you need John to help you. Okay. All right, okay. Now, John can help you. Trust me on this. I know how to lift the lid. Now, to help you lift the lid, let me teach you the rule of 5. Now, the rule of 5 I can teach for 2 hours. So understand, I'm going to try to do this in 3 minutes. But I can with you because you're smarter than these other organizations. You understand? Okay, all right. With some, it's a week conference. Okay. So, with some, a week doesn't matter. Still doesn't take. Okay.
If you want to be mentally tougher, be tougher. That's it. There's no mystery there. The things that are hard to do, that take mental toughness, do them. You don't feel like doing the work that you're supposed to do it anyways. You don't feel like getting up early in the morning, get up early in the morning. You don't feel like spending that 1.5 hours writing for the book that you're trying to write, you write the freaking book that you're supposed to write. That's what you do. There's no magic pill. There's no brain waves that you can hook into a machine. There's no meditation that's going to get you there. What you do is the things that you don't feel like doing, do them anyways. Just be tougher. And when I'm writing, I only write 1,000 words a day, which takes me about an hour. And after that, I want to go do something else. So 2,000 words a day, I'm guessing that probably takes you around 2 hours unless you're just a really fast writer.
No, it takes me about 2.5 hours.
Well, there you go. So that's how you get it done. And like you said, I think it's important for people to remember what it feels like when you do get done, and that way when you don't feel like doing it, you can fast forward your brain a little bit and say, okay, well, in 2.5 hours I'm going to feel really good that I got this done. And you can add to that fact that in 30 days you're going to have 60,000 words, which is almost a whole book. So think about that and sit your ass down and start writing. Guys that maintain discipline are guys that move on to their next mission. And the guys that lose discipline are the guys that can't find or don't find their next mission. So if you're getting out of the military, what you need to do is figure out what your next mission is going to be. And I don't care what it is, whether you're going to build a house, whether you're going to start a nonprofit organization, whether you're going to get a job, whether you're going to make a bunch of money doing that job, whether you're going to go and walk around the world with a backpack feeding people. Whatever it is your next mission is going to be, that's what you need to do, because I think that mission will reveal the path that you need to be on, and military guys can tap into the fact that they know what it takes to be disciplined. They can tap back into that to accomplish their next mission as long as they figure out what that next mission is going to be. I'm trying to just pass on some of the lessons that I've learned and that I'm continuing to learn in my life. I've been really fortunate to have had some great experiences and to have the opportunity to pass those experiences on to other people and then explore new experiences, always reading and trying to educate myself and learn more about the world so I can pass that on.
I know that just by watching you, obviously in the morning, you're up by 4:30 is that every morning, by the way, 7 days a week, 4:30?
Yes.
What does the rest of your schedule for the morning look like? How do you get ramped up for the day and develop a system for discipline?
Wake up, brush your teeth, work out. That's where it starts. Wake up, brush your teeth, work out. Those things are what you have to do. And for me, like you said, you talked earlier about having habits. Those are my habits. So that's what I do. Now, once I'm done with that, I've got a lot of different businesses going on and a lot of different things happening. I've got a consulting company called Echelon Front, where we go around and work with companies all over the world now, which is awesome. So I have to talk to clients, return calls to clients, email clients, look through information that they've sent me. So I have to do that. I have to write each day. I have to prepare for the podcast that I do, which takes a lot of time to prepare for. And of course, I have to do jiu-jitsu and surf, which are very important things. And then I got a family, so I spend time with them. That's what my day is. My day is just get up and go and get the things done that I know I need to get done.
I'll say it again. You will never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried it, and all they got was robbed. So the question is, what are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors. Some of you are theologians, nurses, sociologists. Some of you have money. Some of you have patience. Some of you have kindness. Some of you have love. Some of you have the gift of long suffering. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, what are you going to do with what you have? All right, now here's my last point about failure. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. I still can't say it. Cardiac morphogenesis. I couldn't read it. I couldn't say it. I sure couldn't pass it. So then I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism. And with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. Yeah, down. I was a 1.8 GPA one semester, and the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror, and every time I looked at the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at it. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. First of all, she said, "Somebody give me a piece of paper. Give me a piece of paper." She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy." She said, "You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." Now mind you, 20 years old, I'm flunked out of school. In fact, like a wise ass, I'm thinking to myself, maybe she's got something in that crystal ball about me getting back into school next fall. But maybe she was on to something, because later that summer, while working as a counselor at a YMCA camp in Connecticut, we put on a talent show for the camp. And after the show, another counselor came up to me and asked, "Have you ever thought about acting? You're good at that." So when I got back to Fordham that fall, I got in, I changed my major once again for the last time. And in the years that followed, just as that woman prophesied, I have traveled the world, and I have spoken to millions of people through my movie. Millions who up till this day couldn't see me. Who up till this day I couldn't see while I was talking to them, and they couldn't see me. They could only see the movie. They couldn't see the real me. But I see you today, and I'm encouraged by what I see, and I'm strengthened by what I see, and I love